Beast and Crew, what's up? What's good? It's your girl Jasmine back when I'll be on the channel. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. So today we got a good old Larry Bird video on the channel. Y'all know Larry Bird's my guy. He's definitely in my top five, and I'm excited for this video. I've done a lot of Larry Bird videos, so I'm not even gonna hold you. I didn't even look to see if I've done this video before, but somebody requested it, and I'm with it. So if I've done this video before, I'm sorry. The title did not ring a bell to me. The thumbnail did not ring a bell to me. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. But if I have done it before, I apologize. Um, but I'm excited because it's a Larry Bird video. Who doesn't get tired of Larry Bird? I hope you guys are excited for this video with me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and push the notification bell so you know notification I post. Then we about to watch 5 times Larry Bird went for revenge, baby. Let's get it.
You could never back down. Once you do, people look at you different. You had to stand up for everything you believed in, and even if someone playing basketball, if somebody took the gloves off and wanted to go, you had to go. If you didn't,
You feel me? He's right there with it. You gotta put your all into stuff that you love. He said if they with it, he said if you with it, you gotta be with it. It's either you gonna do it or you're not. That's the attitude he's giving. He said if you with it, you with it. If they ready to take the gloves off, you better be ready to take it off too. Psh. Today's NBA players could never.
there's no use playing.
When you take a look at Larry Bird, at first glance, he might not seem like the most intimidating guy. He doesn't really look like a scary dude at all. Many believed they could get away with pushing his buttons. But one thing you should know about the hick from French Lick, he always gets the last laugh. Game 5 of the first round in the 1991 NBA playoffs, Boston Celtics versus the Indiana Pacers. Larry Bird was approaching the end of his career. He had some serious back problems he was dealing with and wasn't quite sure how much longer he can go. In fact, before this deciding Game 5, his teammates said that he was even struggling to put on his uniform. That's how much pain he was in. But with the series tied up 2 games apiece, he knew he had to use every last drop of fuel that was still in the tank.
The man is on the floor. The man is on the floor in front of the bench. He could barely put on his uniform to get into the game, right? Name an NBA player in today's time that would have done that. I'm not talking about Kobe's era. I'm not talking about MJ's era. I'm talking about right now. Name an NBA player that would have done that. Of course, we have different resources now. We have a whole different medical field, all that now. I get that. But I'm just saying, with that mentality and that mindset, what NBA player would have done that now?
And on the other side was Chuck Person, nicknamed the Rifleman. Throughout the years,
Not
these
the
two
Rifleman.
were sort of rivals and always talked trash to one another. For example, before a Christmas Day game, Person said to the media that he was going bird hunting. And when that comment made its way back to Bird, Bird made sure he would deliver a present to Chuck. Bird shot a three-pointer right in front of Person, who was sitting on the bench, then turned around to look at him and said, "Merry Christmas," before the shot had even gone in yet. He would pull those kind of stunts before Steph even did it. So these two had some history, which made this elimination game all the more epic. The game was just like the previous 4 games in the series, very competitive and highly entertaining.
Was he even
Both
good?
battling to keep their season
The
alive.
Rifleman?
But with 4 minutes left to go in the first half, an unfortunate event would take place. Larry Bird dives for a loose ball, but ends up landing on his face, and immediately had to head back to the locker room. And it turns out that he broke his cheekbone, so the Celtics had no other choice but to play on without him. Boston was trying their best to hang in the game, but were obviously struggling to do so without Larry, while Chuck Person was definitely having fun. He was acting cocky the whole time, thinking that his Pacers were on the verge of advancing to the next round.
I just know Larry was in the back like, oh, no. I don't care if it's broke. I don't care if you got to do whatever you got to do. I got to get back on the floor. I remember this game. He had a concussion. and a broken jawbone. And guess what he did?
But little did he know, Bird was actually keeping tabs on the game in the back and couldn't stand the arrogance that the Pacers were displaying. So with 6 minutes left to go in the third quarter, he decided to return back to the game to shut him up. The image of him coming out of the tunnel was like something you would see in a movie, as the crowd gave him a much-deserved standing ovation. The doctor said that he probably had a concussion, but he did not let that stop him. His heroic efforts ignited a spark in the Celtics, as Boston took a commanding lead and never looked back. Bird ended the game with 32 points and willed his team to victory.
Yeah, it is a little special because
Look at him. He's like, come on.
we always had run-ins, but it always seems like I get the last word.
Ha.
Chance to join Planet Fitness for just 24 cents down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Get free fitness training and
Here's another
He said he
instance
always get the
where
last word.
The old man had to show the youngster who's boss. First, we have to talk about a matchup that Bird and Petrovic had in March of 1992. This
Petrovic,
game,
who was
Drazen was
that?
lighting it up. He shot 65% from the floor and was perfect from deep, leaving Bird and the Celtics extremely frustrated. Just when you thought he was finished, he put the dagger in Boston's heart unapologetically.
He is open for the jumper with high. 39 for Drazen Petrovic.
Dang.
Scored an impressive 39 points to get his team the win. Petro was quickly rising to fame, and before these two teams faced off again, the next time around, the pre-show made sure to remind everyone about that stellar performance.
The question is who's going to guard Drazen Petrovic. Last time out against the Celtics, a career high 39 points.
I ain't never heard of him. I ain't gonna hold you.
And the way he was shooting in the Celtic game up there in Hartford, no one could guard him.
An amazing night for Drazen Petrovic.
About 4 minutes to go in the first quarter, he hit a three-pointer, and as he was backtracking, he got into Larry Bird's face and was talking some good trash. Now, Bird's not someone that you normally want to taunt, but
Drazen really let it up in that late.
See, he should have did that last game when he was on fire, right? You ain't even started this game and you talking smack. My guy, you must not know who you about to play, because Larry was already mad that you probably did all that in the other game. So you know, you probably should have never said nothing, because Larry was already coming for you. He probably had it on his calendar.
Half meeting in Hartford with 39 points.
All this hype that was going around about Drazen, you know Bird was listening. You could tell he was salivating at the mouth for some payback.
Score of 8-2. We play 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Here's Larry Bird.
Too easy. Oh, way too open. Way too open.
This time, Bird was the one on fire, dropping 25 points, 9 assists, and 9 rebounds, while Drazen could barely even get a shot off. He produced a stat line that was not even close to the one he had during their earlier meeting, just a dull 12 points. He should have known that Bird never forgets anything. It's no secret that Larry Bird and Bill Laimbeer absolutely despised one another. Within this heated rivalry, we saw them go at each other's neck on multiple occasions. But in one game in particular, Larry Bird literally got instant revenge. It was game 2 of the 1985
Larry Bird looked like, bro, don't touch me. Don't touch me. A lot of people didn't like Bill. Like, they say he's one of the dirtiest players. Y'all gotta let me know down below if you agree.
Eastern Conference semifinals between the Pistons and Celtics. Bill Laimbeer was deliberately elbowing Bird as soon as the game started. He wanted to take Bird out early, and he even ended up cutting his chin wide open. The way Laimbeer was playing out there was probably not the smartest idea if Larry is the guy you're doing it to.
Right.
He's not the type to just let you get away with that.
I know
And
Bird
from
was
that
fired
point
up.
on, Bird did not play around anymore.
Knocking Bird down. Larry reels on Perfuta. Scored. Down. Bird outside.
Encouraging you. It's a little different.
Get that out of here.
The others know they're not involved. Bird the rebound.
Good board. Good too.
Is he tough for what? 34 in the game for Larry Bird.
Now, don't get it twisted. Larry definitely welcomed physical play with open arms. But when you go out of your way to literally draw blood, all you end up accomplishing is
Dang, they didn't change the jerseys back then when they get blood on their jerseys? No towel, no nothing, no nothing. They just had the blood on the jerseys and played the rest of the game. Ugh.
Releasing an angry Bird from his cage. He put up 31 points in the second half alone and wound up with a total of 42 points, making Bill instantly regret his actions.
Quiet,
Back when
Bill.
Larry Bird was a freshman in college at Indiana University, it was said that the veterans on that team would kind of bully him, even though I know that is hard to believe, and that one player in specific, Kent Benson, who was their starting center, constantly went out of his way to chastise him, always giving Bird a hard time
Wow.
since Larry was the new guy on the team. And rumors say that was part of the reason he didn't stay there very long and ultimately ended up transferring to Indiana State shortly after. Now, fast forward to 1985, Bird was now on the Celtics while Benson played for the Pistons.
Wow.
And this is where Bird would
I never knew this. Ain't this crazy how life goes full circle? That's why you should always treat people right. You just never know when you need them. You never know when they're going to come up. You just never know. Treat people right, y'all, for real.
finally get his revenge. Well, kinda. You see, while Bird did do his thing out there, it was Kevin McHale who was destroying Detroit.
Okay,
especially
Kevin.
Kent Benson. And get this, Larry actually noticed that McHale had the hot hand and that Benson was struggling to guard him. So Bird encouraged McHale to keep making things miserable for Benson by
When your own teammate got your back like that, you know you got a real team. You know you got a real team on your hands. Like a teammate could be like, "Oh, I don't care. That's your problem. That's your rivalry. That's your bully. You know what I'm saying? Like that's your problem. You go crazy on him." Nah, Bird probably was like, "Hey, handle that. He's weak. Handle him." Kevin said, "Got you."
simply feeding him the ball over and over again and grab some popcorn watching him go to work. Benson eventually even needed Lambeer to help him stop McHale, but that also failed. And when it was all said and done, McHale ultimately broke the franchise record with 56 points,
Dang.
mostly at the expense of Kent Benson, which was really making him
Benson, he's
frustrated.
dogging you, bro.
Blaine Reichel, I think, has
Look at Benson.
something on Kent
He
Benson.
look like he's 52.
Gotta be a T. And he's gone.
Get out of there.
Toss in the game.
Now, Bird definitely appreciated the fact that McHale embarrassed Benson for him, but he wasn't quite done with McHale yet.
Consider that New Year's resolutions are not the answer for you this year. You need real solutions. And
See, by McHale going for 56 points, he actually broke Larry Bird's previous Celtics record, 53 points. And don't you think for 1 second that Larry didn't realize that. Larry even said after McHale's impressive performance that he should have gone for 60.
Larry,
He's like, "Don't let up, bro."
Kevin, you should have gone for 60. He said, "Nah, you should have kept going because that may not last."
Well, the fact that he didn't go for 60 and that Bird secretly wanted to get the record back, he got the idea, why not go for 60 himself? So guess what? Only about a week later, Bird would put on a show that would go down in history forever. A performance that even made the opposite team go crazy. He went for 60 points against the Atlanta Hawks, reclaiming the
First of all, the
franchise
Hawks
record
only got
for
like 4
points
people on
this
their
season.
bench. Like, where's
So
your
I
team
guess you
at?
could say that he got revenge on his very own teammate. During a 1987 contest between the Boston Celtics and the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan, who was still a baby at the time, attempted to guard Larry Bird, but he wasn't all that successful at it. Bird just took Jordan to the post at ease. So then head coach of the Bulls, Doug Collins, decided to put a slightly bigger player on Larry, forward Ben Poquet, and that
Who?
only made
I ain't
things
heard of
worse
him.
for Chicago, because Bird took that as a personal insult. As soon as Collins put Poquet in the game to guard Larry, Larry said this out loud to Doug Collins: "Ben Poquet, are you kidding me?" And here's why Bird reacted in such a way. Quote, "As far as playing, I didn't care who guarded me. I just didn't want a white guy guarding me because it's disrespect to my game." And
You heard the man. It's disrespectful to his game. Imagine Larry in his prime versus MJ in his prime. Boy, That would have been a sight. That would have been a sight. Because like you said, MJ was a baby. And MJ was starting to come, rising. And by the time MJ was in his prime, Bird was out of there. His injuries and stuff got the best of him. And like I said, imagine Bird with the resources that we have today, health wise. Oh my gosh. Like the medical team, like nutritionists, all that, boy, Bird, scary.
Well, since Larry couldn't really tell Pocket to go sit back down, he thought he might as well humiliate him while he's at it.
Standing dribble at the stripe. Bird has it right.
Look at him.
Fakes on Pocket, gets to the lane. Fakes it. Pulls the 4-2 lead.
Look at him guarding Bird though. Like he ain't like, what are you doing?
Good. Top of the glass. Side left against Jordan. Bird
Wide open.
shoots from the right side and nails another one. James between
He keep going under the screen. Go on top, bro. You guarding Bird.
Larry Legend would ultimately drop 41 points, forcing Collins to think twice before quote-unquote disrespecting his game ever again. So there you go. All this man wanted to do was get the W for his team and go home to cut his grass in peace. But no, those players couldn't just let him be. They just had to provoke the legend and ultimately had to pay the price. Comment down below what your all-time favorite.
Bird is definitely one of them players where it's like you just gotta respect him. You can't really talk about the NBA without bringing Bird into it. He's just one of those legends that you gotta respect. I feel like he doesn't get enough respect, and it's just, you gotta bring up Bird when you talk about NBA. I love watching Bird highlights and just learning about him even more and seeing things I've never seen before. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and push the notification bell so notification posts. That being said, see you guys next video.